Figures of speech. Before we start poetry section, let's discuss figures of speech. There are many figures of speech, but in grade 10th, following figures of speech are used. They are rhyme scheme, simile, metaphor, personification, pun, alliteration, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, synecdoche, refrain, repetition, and irony. Rhyme scheme is determined by writing small same alphabets at the end of the lines that end with the same rhyming words. For example, for her ears were now addicted to applause quite unrestricted, and to sing into the night all alone gave no delight. Over here, as you can see, the rhyme scheme is A, B, B. So, in the end, you will write the rhyme scheme is A, B, B. This extract is taken from Frog and the Nightingale. Simile. A simile is a figure of speech that directly compares two different things, usually by employing words like and as. For example, nor dim nor red like God's own head, as idle as a painted ship. Over here you can see in the first example like is used, and in the second example as is used. Both these lines are taken from the rhyme of Ancient Mariner. After that we will talk about metaphor. Metaphor, when two things are compared without using like and as, it is metaphor. For example, now I am a lake, line from the mirror. Personification. When a non-living thing is portrayed as a living thing, it is personification. For example, the poem Mirror is a very good example of personification. In the poem, a non-living thing, that is a mirror, is speaking as a human being. Refrain. A line that keeps repeating after some lines in a poem is refrain. Like in 9th standard, you read a poem Brook. In that poem, there was a line, men may come, men may go, but I will remain forever. This line was repeated after a few lines in the entire poem. It is the perfect example of a refrain. Repetition. When one word is repeated again and again, it is repetition. For example, if you were not afraid, you would kill him, and truly I was afraid, I was most afraid. Here the word afraid is repeated again and again, so it is called repetition. These lines are taken from Snake. Pun. Humorous words with more than one meaning used to make readers laugh is known as pun. For example, let's have a look on a pun from the famous play of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. When a character named Mercutio in the play is about to die, he says, "Ask for me tomorrow and you shall find me a grave man." There is a pun on the word grave, which suggests the following two meanings, that is, tomorrow Mercutio will be in a serious, in the brackets you can say grave mood, and tomorrow Mercutio will be dead and lying in a grave. Alliteration is the repetition of letters with the same sound. For example, when wasteful war. These lines are taken from Ozymandias. The letter W is repeated again and again. This is the example of an alliteration. Let's move to onomatopoeia. Are the words that imitate the sound they stand for. They are also called sound words. For example, it crackled and growled, it roared and howled, taken from the rhyme of Ancient Mariner. Over here, cracked, growled, roared and howled are the examples of onomatopoeia. Oxymoron is where two contradictory words or ideas are put together. In Mrs. Packletide's Tiger, the words immeasurably nearer or elaborate carelessness are the perfect examples of oxymoron. Now let's move to synecdoche. Synecdoche is a figure of speech in which part of something is used to signify the whole and sometimes the whole is used to signify a part. For example, nothing beside remains round the decay, taken from Ozymandias, is the best example of synecdoche. Irony, the use of words to express something different from and often opposite to their literal meaning is called irony. For example, I despised myself and the voices of my accursed human education, taken from Snake. This line taken from Snake is the perfect example of an irony. Now, after discussing figures of speech, let's move towards the poetry section. The Frog and the Nightingale, written by Vikram Seth. Once upon a time, there was a frog that was extremely arrogant. He croaked from dusk to dawn in the bog. The meaning of the bog is wet, spongy ground of decomposing vegetation. Other creatures literally hated his voice. They requested him, threw stones at him, beat him with the sticks, and also complained and insulted him, but in vain. Every night under the foot of the sumac tree, the frog would sit and start singing. Can you tell me what did the other creatures want from the frog?
That he should stop singing.
Very good. One night a nightingale came from somewhere, perched on the sumac tree and sang a melodious song. Children, you must have noticed that in the poem, for the frog he is used and for the nightingale she is used instead of it. This is because in the poem, frog and the nightingale are being portrayed as human beings. Otherwise, for animals and birds, it is used. Ram is going to dance on the stage. He has worked very hard. Over here, he is used because Ram is a boy. Meenu said that she will not eat that food. Here, she is used because Meenu is a girl, a human being. The dog is barking. It may be feeling cold. Here, it is used as already mentioned that for animals it is used, and over here the dog is not being portrayed as a human being, therefore he is not used for it. Well, back to the poem. All the creatures in the bog simply loved the nightingale's voice. They cheered and applauded her for her performance. Even the frog was surprised to hear such a lovely voice. The nightingale was not used to such appreciation. On the demand of her audience, she sang once more. Next night, when the nightingale prepared herself to sing, the frog interrupted her and told her that he was the owner of the sumac tree on which she was sitting. He boasted that he was very famous in the bog for his splendid, fairly deep voice, and further added that he often wrote for the musical magazine of the bog called Bog Trumpet. The nightingale, who lacked confidence, was highly impressed with the frog and asked him if he had liked her song. The arrogant frog replied that the song was not bad, but it was quite long. The method of singing was fine, but the song lacked a certain force. Finally, the frog told her to take training from him. The nightingale called him a Mozart in disguise. Mozart was an Austrian musician. The nightingale was excited and pleased that she had got such a mentor. Soon she became a singing sensation. Do you think it was because of the frog that the nightingale became a singing sensation?
Yes.
How can you say that?
Because the frog trained her.
Okay, but the frog himself was not a good singer. It was not the frog's training. Before the training only, the nightingale was a perfect singer, but the only problem was she lacked confidence. Well, animals from miles came to hear her song. The frog charged an admission fee and earned a lot of money from these concerts. The frog was happy as well as sad. He was happy as he was earning a lot of money and the reason for being sad was that this money was because of somebody else's song. He would have been happier had he earned this money from his own singing. The bottom line is that the frog was jealous of the nightingale's popularity. The frog forced the poor bird to practice for long hours even in the rain. The bird grew pale and sorrowful. Her songs were no more interesting. She sang just to fulfill her duty and not from the heart like before. Now her ears became addicted to the applause, and singing alone in the night gave her no more pleasure. The frog scolded her, called her brainless bird, and wanted her to puff her lungs up and sing with passion. The miserable bird, blind with tears, puffed her lungs up, burst a vein, and as a result died. Instead of feeling sorry for her death, the frog said that the nightingale should have known that your song remains yours only, no matter what others say. That's why I sing confidently. Now the frog could once more sing at night in the bog unrivaled. Read the following extracts carefully and answer the questions that follow. Dumbstruck sat the gaping frog, and the whole admiring bog started towards the sumac wrapped, and when she had ended, clapped. The meaning of dumbstruck is happy, sad, annoyed, astonished.
Ma'am, it's annoyed.
No, it's astonished. Question second. The frog was dumbstruck because the first option, the nightingale was sitting on the sumac tree. Second option, she didn't invite him to sing with her. Third option, animals were appreciating nightingale's voice. Last option, he had never heard such melodious voice. Now can you tell me which option is correct?
Yes, ma'am. He had never heard such melodious voice.
Very good. Now the third question. The whole bog was admiring the nightingale as she danced very well, sang very well, imitated the frog very well, was able to convince the frog not to sing.
The whole bog was admiring the nightingale as she sang very well.
Okay, that's the right answer. Second question. Every night from dusk to dawn, he croaked on and on and on. Other creatures loathed his voice, but alas, they had no choice. He refers to the poet, frog, nightingale, duck.
Ma'am, frog.
Good. Second question. He croaked from night to day, afternoon to night, morning to evening, evening to morning.
Ma'am, night to day.
No, it's evening to morning. They didn't have any choice because there was no other singer as good as the frog. The other creatures could not do anything to stop him from singing. He had taken permission from the government to sing. All of the above.
They didn't have any choice because the creatures couldn't do anything to stop him from singing.
Okay, that's fine. Read the extracts carefully and answer the questions that follow. Well, the poor bird, she should have known that your song must be your own. That's why I sing with panache. Coo ha ha, coo ash, coo ash. And the fog horn of the frog blared unrivaled through the bog. Who is the speaker of these lines? The frog is the speaker of these lines. Was the speaker sorry for the nightingale's death? No, he was not at all sorry for the nightingale's death. Instead of being sorry, he was criticizing the poor bird who has lost her life. What traits of the frog are reflected in these lines? The frog was stubborn and arrogant and did not care for others' feelings. Next night, when the nightingale shook her head and twitched her tail, closed an eye and fluffed a wing, and had cleared her throat to sing, she was startled by a croak. Now the question, how did the audience react to her song the previous night? The audience were really mesmerized to hear the song and asked for more. Second question, According to line 2 and 3, what kind of singer was the nightingale? According to the line 2 and 3, the nightingale was a very professional singer. Third question, who startled the nightingale when she was about to sing? The frog startled the nightingale when she was about to sing. Answer the following questions in 30 to 40 words. How did the nightingale die? Answer is, the nightingale died when the frog asked her to puff her lungs up so that she could sing with passion. When the poor bird puffed her lungs up, one of her veins burst and she died. Second question, how did the creatures in the bog react to frog's voice? The frog was very proud of himself as a singer and thought he had a splendid baritone. The creatures loathed his voice, but the foghorn of the frog kept on blaring despite the insults and thrashing. All the efforts of the bog creatures to quieten him were fruitless. Third question, how did the frog exploit the nightingale? Answer, the nightingale was a trained singer but was very innocent and simple bird. The frog exploited her by first convincing her that he was a splendid singer with a splendid baritone. Then he trained the nightingale and organized her concerts. He took the money earned in the concerts as his training fee. He humiliated her and got rid of her by making her practice day and night. Finally, the poor bird lost her life. Question 4. Why did the ticket office gross crash? Answer, the ticket office gross crashed because the nightingale's voice had become very dull and lost its melody and freshness due to the excessive singing. The frog unnecessarily harassed and humiliated her. He didn't allow the nightingale to sing on her own, so the nightingale's voice became worn out and monotonous.